everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Carlos Carreras and today we are going to be talking about One Piece and politics. Now, I never cared about politics until 2016 when Senator Bernie Sanders first launched his presidential campaign, and while Bernie opened my eyes to the many socioeconomic injustices that people face in the US and around the world, surprisingly, One Piece is what actually shaped my politics. Someone who may have not read or watched One Piece before may be surprised to hear when I say that One Piece is a very political story. One Piece taught me many valuable lessons that I've kept with me since, but as I decided to get more involved with politics, One Piece, above all else, taught me that my love for my friends and family is good enough reason to take on the powers that be and fight against all oppressors and forms of oppression. One Piece also taught me that true freedom also requires resources to cover the necessities that guarantee our freedom, like food, shelter, healthcare, and education. The world of One Piece mirrors the world we live in today in the sense that most of the wealth and resources are hoarded by a handful of powerful elites at the cost of everyone else's freedom. So if One Piece and politics are two topics that interest you a lot, buckle up because we are in for an adventure across the Grand Line. Oh, and one important reminder, this video will contain some mild spoilers for One Piece and its lore up to the Wano arc, and while I will avoid talking about major story spoilers, just in case I will be adding a spoiler warning beforehand. Let's first talk about our protagonist Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy is primarily characterized by his rubber-like body, childlike nature, and boundless optimism. But at his core, he yearns to be the freest man in the world, and to him, that's what it means to be the next Pirate King. However, Luffy also values everyone else's freedom just as much, which is why along his journey he ends up liberating people from ruthless kings, the oppressive world government, and tyrannical pirates alike. Although Luffy has zero political consciousness, meaning he does not care about politics or world history, his core values make him a natural enemy of the gods. But what do I mean by gods? While the world of One Piece is full of diverse antagonists, the biggest foes are arguably the Celestial Dragons, and by extension the world government. The Celestial Dragons are descendants of the original 20 kings that coalesced to form the current world government, after defeating the Ancient Kingdom, while positioning themselves atop and calling themselves, well, the Celestial Dragons, otherwise known as the gods of the world. Given their godly status, they feel entitled to anything and everything they desire through whatever means necessary. This has resulted in an oppressive world government that allows the Celestial Dragons to use racism, discrimination, slavery, and other oppressive methods to quench their greed and desires without any consequences. Upon the surge of the Great Pirate Era, the world government has also resorted to contracting tyrannical pirates known as the Seven Warlords of the Sea to counterbalance the power of the pirates. The warlord system offers powerful pirates legal immunity for their pirate activities in exchange for their battle power. This has resulted in some warlords like Sir Crocodile and Don Quixote do Flamingo staging coups and installing themselves as tyrannical dictators as part of their plots to become the next Pirate King. But wait, you may be wondering, did I just say racism and slavery? In the world of One Piece, there are people of all kinds of races such as fishmen, Skypians, Shandians, long-armed people, long-legged people, giants, dwarves, you name it. Each island Luffy and the Straw Hats visit has their own set of climate, people, culture, customs, foods, and technologies. The world government uses racism as a rationalization to justify slavery and oppression because this is their way of exercising power and maintaining absolute rule over the seas while simultaneously obtaining the diverse technological and natural resources through military force. In contrast, as a lover of food, parties, and adventures, Luffy highly embraces this diversity because in his eyes this is essential for a great adventure. Freedom and a sense of adventure are two core values that Luffy embraces the most, but Luffy cannot have a fun adventure when the people, the diversity that creates the adventure, are oppressed by a variety of evil and bad faith actors. As I mentioned earlier, Luffy is not a conscious political figure. All he really cares about is being free in the truest sense of the word, meaning he wants to do whatever he wants, whenever he pleases, as long as he is not harming anyone. However, Luffy is aware that his freedom is highly dependent on having the means and resources. To him, being the Pirate King guarantees the level of freedom he craves because as Pirate King he would have access to the means and resources necessary for this kind of lifestyle, while overriding the authority of the world government and the Celestial Dragons. In the world of One Piece, everyone is required to pay a heavenly tribute with their gold, and those unable to pay are subjected to a life of slavery, war crimes, and abject poverty. Luffy understands that, similar to his own freedom, people are truly free when they have the means and resources that guarantee their freedom. For this reason, over the course of the series, Luffy eventually adopts this vision of creating a world where everyone can eat as much as they want and be happy. While the Celestial Dragons use slavery and military exploitation as their primary means to obtain their resources, Luffy stands as the political opposite, where he wants to share the resources equally with everyone. Going back to his love for adventures and parties, Luffy embraces humanity and its diversity because these are the characteristics that define a great adventure, and of course there is no party without people. The kind of freedom and adventure Luffy seeks requires the freedom of everyone else, and for everyone else to be free, Luffy believes this is possible in a world where everyone can eat as much as they please. Luffy's vision of the future may sound like a dream, something that is simply impossible both in the world of One Piece and in the real world. But as Blackbeard tells Luffy, people's dreams don't ever end. Like Luffy, I believe we should also continue to aspire for a better future where everyone has the necessary resources to be free and happy. Our love for our Nakamas, meaning our friends and family, is enough reason to dream of a better future and fight against the injustices and inequalities of this world. Much like the previous Pirate King, Gol D. Roger, perhaps I won't see this dream come true in my lifetime, but this dream will continue to be inherited by future generations until it becomes a reality. Something that I hear a lot when it comes to politics and socioeconomic issues is this idea that we need to be quote-unquote realistic with our expectations. For example, we cannot have a free universal healthcare system or have free public universities because that would be quote-unquote unrealistic. But I feel like this quickly translates into conformist attitudes that only serve those in power who want to maintain the status quo. While Bernie opened my eyes to the many socioeconomic injustices that people face around the world, One Piece taught me to never give up on that dream of creating a brighter future, no matter how crazy it may sound or how difficult it may be, because fighting for that future is absolutely worth it for the sake of our Nakamas, meaning our friends, it is worth it for the sake of our loved ones, and it is worth it for the sake of our family members. And as long as people continue to hope for that future, that dream will never end.